a special way, let me welcome our donors, sponsors, for honoring invitation to come to the meeting the grassroots Indigenous women and for providing the resources that enable us fixing nuts and bolts during the preparation. The heroes of the Indigenous women population for being resilient to the challenge of affecting the African women, forging the beginning of African women solidarity in the continent. A continent faced by war, human rights abuse, religious extremism, poor governance due to lack of democracy, and above all, the scramble of our natural resources, triggering conflict and insecurity. Africa should remain united to address the major challenges that have been compounded by climate change that stand against each other than destroying life and property. Guided by the Declaration of Human Rights, we all called to be one another's keepers and not to be the opposite.
One of the working groups that we created is the Indigenous Women's Funders Working Group, and this is really the vehicle, the platform in which IFIP is trying to bring together funders, have dialogues with them, get them to understand why the priorities of Indigenous women.
The non-recognition of Indigenous people's rights oftentimes leads to their social exclusion and poverty. This is reflected in poor health conditions and low educational levels among Indigenous women across many regions in the world. A lack of public social services, we saw no roads, pushing of the cars and all this, especially health clinics and school facilities, is common in Indigenous communities.
As we all want to achieve the 2030 vision or the 2063 vision that everybody else globally is talking about. But if we don't mobilize ourselves, our resources, we have resources as Indigenous women. We are very smart. We have the culture. Let's not let other people speak about ourselves or tell our story.
As women, is that we go into phases of different challenges, but it's the same challenge. A woman in Kajiado will face the same challenge a woman in Samburu, in Turkana, in Marsabit is facing, or in Cameroon, or in Congo. The same challenge. But as women, you must put now your recommendations on the AU platform, because you find that you're being recognized so much at the UN, but at the AU, you need a team that will have to really advocate and ensure within the agenda of 2063 or 2030 of the AU, the issues of Indigenous women or Indigenous communities are also carried within that platform.
Make sure that women are really represented and their voices be heard, and not only looking at women in general, but looking at women that are living with disabilities, and also women in the rural areas, as well as other women with other special needs, so that everybody can be represented on the Beijing Forum.
It gives me energy to know that 25 years ago, it is grassroots women, Indigenous women who fought. We've had enough of gender equality. We still have 1 in 3 women experiencing violence. How much have we had enough of gender equality? We still have issues on transition, retention in school.
My name is Winnie Kodi. I'm from the Nuba peoples in Sudan, South Kordofan state. And the biggest challenge that Indigenous women have in my country is that we're not recognized as Indigenous people. And so we're always grouped with the minority groups. And that is a very big challenge for us. And so we require that the state recognizes us as Indigenous women and Indigenous peoples.
Women do protect the land. And then another one was sustainable use of natural resources by practicing organic culture, rule of transmitting traditional knowledge to the young generation. That's women, they make sure that their children knows how to go on their footsteps.
Most of the themes that were discussed are very important themes for Indigenous women. We are going to get an outcome document on some of the resolutions or some of the recommendations that we would like, to work on, to present at the level of Africa, maybe at the level of the AU. And this is the document. When finalized, we will be taken to the Beijing +25.
Without the women, the world cannot be. Not so? So probably beginning with the men in this room, from today henceforth, whoever calls women weaker sex should face life imprisonment.